Hello everyone and welcome to this Adobe Illustrator video. Today I'll be talking to you about the selection tool and the direct selection tool. It is available to us on the left side and topmost part of our toolbar. Here you can see that the selection tool is over here and the direct selection tool as well. And when you're in the selection tool and you just hover your mouse over it, you can see that we have shortcut letter V over here, and it's also saying that we can select entire objects with this. Okay, now let's just select this. Okay, and now you can see that my cursor is in this shape. Okay, let's make a rectangle first to show you how this actually works. Let me fill the stroke and also increase it a bit. Fill the color with red. Okay, now using the selection tool, we can move our shape in any possible direction that we want to use. Okay, and we can also rotate our object. After that, this is how the direct selection tool actually works. Say you want to make it wide, you can do that as well. Say you want to make the height narrow, you can do that as well using the selection tool. Okay, after that, if you want to reduce the size of your object, you can do that as well by going to the corner and then just doing this. So this is how it actually works, as you can see. Now say I have another shape here. Okay, and I want to make this shape like this. Okay, and now let's use the selection tool to actually expand the shape, which is perpendicular in all measurements from from all the four sides. So for that, I'll just have to press Shift and Alt on my keyboard and then go to the anchors over here on the corner, then just pull it. Now you can see that when I press Shift and Alt, it just does this. But if I just press Shift, you can see only one side goes and expands. All right, now after that, I'll teach you how to copy your object with your selection tool. Okay, just hover your mouse over the object, then hold the Alt key. Then you'll see your cursor change into this type. And after that, then you'll see your cursor change like this. And after that, you can just click on your object, then drag it. As you can see, this is how it works. Okay, then you can just press Ctrl+D to copy your object multiple times in the same direction. Say I wanted to copy it down, I just do this and then press Ctrl+D to do the same. Okay, now let's go ahead and delete this. Okay, now that we are done with the selection tool over here, now that we're done with using the selection tool with shapes, let's use it on text. Okay, so let's go over here and select the text type tool. Okay, let's select and make it a text. After that, let's use the selection tool. The text over here, as you can see, works for the same way as this object. We can use Alt to copy it. Okay, and then this is also the same for this one, as you saw in the last part. Okay, now that we have copied our text, we can move it like this, and say you want to group your text together so that we don't have to selectively move. What you do is use the selection tool over here, then drag a box around them to select them all, right click, and then we have to select group. So what we first have to do is right click and then create their outlines. After that, we can just right click and then select group. Okay, over here, since we created in a group, if I move one text to one side, you can see that it actually moves along with the other text. Okay, now say you wanted to move one single text without ungrouping it like this. Okay, for that, we can just go over here to the direct selection tool, right click, and then select group selection. After that, I can just click on the text that I want, say this one, then I can just move it, as you can see over here. Okay, and After I'm done, I can just double click and then move them again. Right? So that was the group selection tool, as you can see over here. Now I'll be teaching you about the direct selection tool and how we can use it. Let's select the direct selection tool over here, and you can see that the shortcut is A. Okay. With the direct selection tool, this is a bit more useful than the selection tool, but they almost do the same work. What you do is you click on your object, and then you can see that we have some circles in the corners. Okay, I'll explain each one in detail, but first I need to show you what my shape is actually trying to tell me. The line you see over here, you can see that it's highlighting itself as the path, and then these dots are known as the anchors. Okay, they'll be in every certain edges, or you can also add them to your wish. Okay, and this part is the center. Okay, now say with the direct selection tool you want to change the way your shape is displayed, so you can use that. And then first we need to click on a certain anchor, and then we'll just move it to the shape that you want it to be. All right, so you can do this with any anchors that you wish. This is the way it works. Now you can see that we have a parallelogram. Okay, so this is how you use the direct selection tool for fixing the shape of the object. Now another thing you need to know is the corner. Okay, this dot over here is basically used to curve the corners. Okay, as you can see, after I do that, the shape has become a rounded corner. Now say you want to select a specific corner and make that round, you can just click on it, and then you can make it a rounded corner like this. And if you want to select more options for seeing how your corner looks, just double click the dot over here, and you can see that the corner option pops up, where we can select different corners to choose from. Say the radius is like that, and the rounding we can also choose from that. There you go. This is how you use it. So now that I'm done with that part, let's move on. Now I'll show you how to use the selection tool again. And below over here on the menu bar, below the menu bar, you can see that we have a path over here, which is basically our object type that we have selected using our selection tool. What I'll do now is basically show you how to use this whole set of tools over here. If I click over here or hover my mouse over here, you can see it's the color fill option. We can choose the color of our object from here. After that, we have the stroke color, which is basically the borders surrounding our rectangle. Let me change this into a white color so they can understand. There you go. Now our rectangle is totally white. Now after that, we have the stroke weight, which will basically increase the strokes weight. And as you can see, when I increase it, it totally increases the edges of our borders. After that, we have the stroke type. Say I want the stroke type to be like this, this. And if you want to see more options, you can always add profiles from it. Then we have the brush definition. Then we have the opacity, which is basically telling us how much we want our stroke to be visible. Then we have the style. We can select different types of stroke styles, or even the object stroke, or even the object fill color from here. After that, we have this recolor artwork. Now after recolor artwork, you can just go to the next part where it says align artboard. Now we can align from section. Now over here, I'll show you how to use these align options. So basically, let's use this text and then ungroup them. And let's say I want to horizontally align them. I can do that. Left, right, then vertically align top. Let's undo that. Then center, then bottom. After that, vertical distribute top. It will already fix itself in measurement from the top and keep an equidistance between each word. After that, we have the bottom, or sorry, this is the bottom, and this is the center. This is the horizontal left distribute. Let me just okay. What I'm gonna do now is show you how this works. So basically this is vertically aligned top. It will align itself to the top of our artboard. Let me zoom out to show you. This is vertically aligned center, and this vertically aligned bottom, left, right, middle. So this is how you use them. Okay, let me zoom in again. All right, so after that, let's go back to our shape, and here this will basically tell us our reference point for our shapes. Then we can select this to isolate a selected object, and we can also select this to make similar objects. Say I selected this and then I created a copy of it over here, then I just select this. You can see that it selected the similar object by itself, and I didn't have to use group selection to select them all. Okay, let's select this again, and after that we have start editing similar shapes together. It is the same as this tool. All right, so that is all for the selection tool. Now let's go ahead and see the direct selection tool parts, where you can see that we have almost the same similar options as we did for the selection tool, so I will not be explaining it to you. Let's move on. That is all for this video. Thank you for watching this, and I'll see you in the next video.